G'day everybody, Sam Marwood here from Cultivate Farms. We've had a lot of people ask very similar questions in how the farm arrangements would actually be set up. So we match you with a retiring farmer and investor to own and operate a farm together, and they're talking about how does that actually work, what are the details, and I thought why not put a bit of a video together answering some of those common questions that we're getting, which are all great questions. So number one is, how would this work with an investor? So the answer to this is it depends. It depends on the arrangement that you've got. It might be that the investor is willing to have you as an equity partner. So you would then go into, the company would be formed of which you would be an equity partner, where you will have invested either your money or you'll put in some of your own equipment or livestock, etc., to build up or to contribute your equity. Other arrangements could be that you have a family farm, and so your parents are wanting to step back but they need a bit of cash freed up to go buy a house in town. It could be the investor comes in and again forms an equity partnership there to release that cash for your parents, and you run the farm backed by your parents and the investor. It could be that there is a retired farmer who's willing to do vendor finance and just back you onto it, and over 10-20 years you eventually purchase the farm through them, and they loan you, they form the bank to back you onto the farm. Or it could be that there is no retired farmer at all, and you're purely being connected with an investor to own and operate the farm together. So there's many different situations that could unfold. Again, it all depends on where the farm is, what the farm is, the investors, the risk they're willing to take, and your level of farm readiness, and whether also there's a retired farmer in there. And all those different things combine to form different arrangements. Our job, though, is to support you as the aspiring farmer to make sure you've got a great setup, that you're happy, and that you're going to have a long-term and prosperous future. If we don't do that, we've failed, and we won't be able to attract more young people onto these farms. The second question is, will I ever fully own the farm myself? The answer to this, again, is it depends. It could be that you never do. Maybe that through the arrangement you've got incentives every year that you meet a certain requirement and you build up your equity over time, or you build up your equity by buying 100 acres next door and adding that to the farm operation. But it might still take 20-30 years for you to build up 20 or 30% extra equity. So it might be that by the time you're 50, 60, 70, you own 50% of the operation. And to me that sounds exciting, because it might be a $10 million operation, whereas if on your own you could probably only ever invest into a $2 million property. So being a 50% equity owner in a large property sounds like a better proposition to us. Also, you have these investors backing you, which you can do some more planning or thinking about the future as well, backed by some great thinkers and people with some influence. Or alternatively, some investors would be happy for you to eventually own 100% of the farm, and you just set up arrangements to make that happen. So again, it depends, but again, our job is to make sure that you've got a great arrangement and that you're happy with it. Third question, who is in control? Our aim is for you to be managing and running this farm. You'll probably need, and I think every situation you'll have advisors to guide you the whole way, to give confidence to investors and even yourself that you're doing the best you can to operate the farm. But our aim is that you're in control, but there will still be oversight by the investors and owners. It's their investment. They need to make sure that you're doing the right things, so there'll be accountability, reporting, planning, etc. But you're the one doing the grunt work on the farm. Fourth question, what sort of returns are investors looking for? And again, the answer to the fourth question is, what sort of returns are investors looking for? And again, the answer is, it depends. We hear of investors just land banking. So all they do is buy the land and sit on it. We want to be able to get involved with those people and say, well, what if we value added and got an aspiring farmer on board to support you, and who knows what the investment returns are from that property for them, all the way up to 15%. We've heard from funds that are looking to set up farms, and then anywhere in between. So we're talking to a lot of investors who have a strong conservation and regenerative agriculture focus, and so they're focused on those sort of outcomes, but also still want to make a good return. So I'd say on average investors are looking for that 5 to 10% range for returns. And will I get a wage is the last question we get asked a lot, and the answer is yes. So depending on your setup, but if you're an equity owner, you would get a return on your investment every year. but also the company that you're a part equity owner in would employ you back as the farm manager. So you'd have an ongoing wage as well as getting returns from the investment when the business makes a profit. So please let us know if you have other questions similar to this. We're happy to do more of these updates and just to clarify how this could work for you. But get excited, get pumped up and get out there and let's get you onto your dream farm.